Hi guys, this is Ramsha with my brother Yusuf, and welcome back to another episode of Seaside Siblings, our sixth one, and our first one of 2019.
Yes, this is like very good. This is I'm happy to be in the new year. Welcome
Yeah,
to 2019. It's
17 days into it.
yeah, 17 days
How?
in, but still what a bunch of 17 days.
Yeah,
What
you had a pretty
hectic.
busy. Well, yeah, hectic, busy. New Year because well, I mean in Pakistan that's how it is, right? Because wedding season and
Yeah.
yeah, so that's fun. Our cousin got married in Lahore uh in the first week of January, and Bhaiya
Mm-hmm.
was late. I couldn't go because I cannot leave the United States until I
Yeah.
get my green card. That's another podcast altogether or
Yeah.
episode altogether. But
But
how was the wedding? I got like pictures and videos and like
yeah,
idhar
yeah.
udhar se, like news, but how how was it overall?
Okay, so yeah, this one I guess this one will go out to Chavez and Anisha because their wedding was amazing.
Abby!
I know, man. Anisha Bhabhi,
Yeah.
welcome to the family. And yep, truly welcome to the family.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
it was very good. It was a lot of fun. Obviously, the bride and groom were obviously super busy and like getting tired and like being drunk
Yeah.
everywhere. But mashallah, they looked very pretty. I was
It's really good. Oh my God. I mean, I kept thinking of Sherry in like when we were kids, right? Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Same, by the way, same,
and I
same.
was like, oh my God, he's a husband. This is so crazy, but like so good, like so good,
Yeah,
mashallah.
Ramsha, I had to adjust thinking about you in that way. Ke, oh my God, my little
Dude,
sister.
yeah, I like when I was getting married, I was thinking of like, oh my God, and I was like, shit, man, I still feel like a child, not a child, but like a teenager, and I still have a lot to like learn in the world. And what is
Yeah,
this? I'm getting married, and then I would like, I don't know what I said to Rukshan a few times, but I was like, यार क्या मतलब देखो कितनी बुड्ढी है इसके दो बच्चे हैं, and he'd be like, you're getting married, like that's it, it's done for you. And I was like, oh shit, but it's good, and I really missed I miss everybody. I miss the whole family.
yeah,
um but I texted Chavez saying, just take it all in. I know it's really busy. And besides the whole congratulations, I was like, take it all in because it's going to fly by. These few days are just going to fly by.
mhm,
And looking back, then you'll start remembering things. And when you look at pictures, you'll start remembering things. So just take it all in. It might be very hectic now, but just
yeah,
remember and take it all in.
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
it's exciting. It's always exciting when there's a wedding in the family. And I miss the dance practices and, with Xenia and
yeah, I flew in on New Year's Eve. I was at the airport. That was my New Year's Eve, Jinnah Terminal for the win, and I picked up a book from there, a new issue of a copy of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I had an eye on for a year, and when I got to Lahore, it was obviously hectic. I didn't do dance practices, but I got my clothes in order, and then the nikah was on Friday. I mean, I think we can mention the days. It
yeah,
was Friday. It was
fine.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So, yeah, the nikah was actually followed immediately by the mehndi. It was a nikah mehndi mix, and
That's good.
it was amazing. Yeah, it was really amazing. They had the nikah in the shadi hall, and then quickly the boys Zain, Rukshan, Zuhair, Zurair, Xenia, most and Xenia is like girl cousin, second. Yeah, she's our cousin,
She's
and
our
her
cousin. She's
husband most
actually
of
our second cousin, but she's actually a sister. So it's like
yeah,
people.
she's Ramsha's sister and is treated appropriately as such. Frankly speaking.
Wow,
So
not even.
yeah, so here's the deal with Xenia Baji and Mohsin Sahab cut a rug on the dance floor. The girls' side they also
They're
performed
so good. Can
admirably.
I just
Oh
hold
yeah,
on?
but they Rukshan and Xenia Mohsin were really good.
Yeah, yeah. Like, can I just say that I'm so
Uh,
when Zenia and Mohsen got married, I was so happy because I was like, yes, we have a boy who can dance really well. Because
oh
like
my God.
Rukshan's really good.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
then, you know, basically our group team overall score went up basically because of
Oh
Mohsen.
yeah,
Because
our
he's really
team
good.
strength got raised because like we had some
Yeah,
guy we had Mohsin Saab who can dance very well, and it's appreciated deeply that he does at weddings because like this is the opportunity, and this has become
yeah.
like a Pakistani tradition now. Okay, if you have
It
a gang
is.
or a group
It
of
is good. Yeah,
cousins.
yeah. Umar
So
was like, damn man, Mohsen got moves. I was like, yep, yep.
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. So the nikah happens, and then the girl side enters, and she and our group to we enter with Chavez being driven in on a motor rickshaw while wearing shades like a boss,
Yeah,
and
I
then
saw that. This picture.
yeah, then we come in, we dance like Punjabi. What is the balle balle dance called?
The Balle Balle
Uh,
dance?
but when you have like a piece of cloth behind your neck and you're moving it back and forth and with
Bhangra?
bhangra, yes.
The fuck is wrong with you?
Well,
You are Pakistani.
I'm
No,
looking
no,
into it. I'm
no,
looking into
no,
it.
no. Side note, you are
Yes.
Pakistani.
Uh, yes.
Okay, if
Yeah.
I sitting in fucking Milwaukee, Wisconsin in the United States can
Uh,
listen to like Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan while getting ready, or I can listen to like what's that guy who sang Blue Eyes, God damn it. If I can listen to that shit over here, you sure as hell should know what Bhangra is, okay?
you know what? One motivation for me to like now that like
That's
in my
very sad.
last
That
term
made me very
in,
upset just now when you were like, what is that? Like, what is that dance called that you guys put the cloth behind your neck and move it side to side? Fuck that, okay?
yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah, I got like Ramsha, I got like some serious stuff on my mind,
I don't
so
care. I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
care.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I
Don't
will, you know what?
give me
One
that shit.
reason, here's the deal. Here's the deal. The dance thing, because it's now gonna be expected. I mean, even from the bride and the groom, which by the way,
Listen, what
Shafi,
Pakistani shadi have you gone to and there was no dancing? Because that is just the
all of my
most.
friends, all my friends.
Well, your friends are very boring. I'm sorry.
Oh, boo hoo, boo hoo, boo hoo. They're
Yeah,
my
that's
friends,
pretty
and
sad. That's a really sad शादी जहाँ पे यानी कि क्या मतलब क्या हुआ था कि नाच गाना नहीं हो सकता था.
acha yaar, cool it. The what happened, but I will improve on the dance situation. People have been saying like now that you're on your last term, you should like think more about your physical everything. So you know what, I'll do start work on that, and I'll work on like my coordination and rhythm so that like there's
Just
gonna be
remember,
a bunch more
Bhangra
weddings.
is. I don't care if you know how to. I don't care if you know how to dance or don't know how to dance. Just don't be one of those whitewash wannabe Pakistani kids.
Excuse
I
me, Ramcha.
like.
Excuse me. The first ever cassette tape I bought was
Listen,
Fakre
why are
Ahmed
you being so
cassette tape.
defensive?
And
Hold on.
no, no, no. And here's why. Because he had, when I was 7 years old, he had a video on STN which was called Bhangra Pao. Okay?
No,
It was,
so what?
and
Why are you being
I
so
know the
defensive?
Bhangra.
Can't you just laugh it off, buddy? Come on,
Acha. Okay?
come on. Have a sense of
Okay.
humor. Just don't be so defensive. Like, if like Bhangra man, come on. We are Punjabis. Like, we're not Pendu Punjabis, hopefully, but like, come on, man. That's just you should know that much.
Bhangra Pao all the way, Ramsha. Bhangra
Yeah,
Pao.
yeah.
Okay. That's like,
Anyway,
yeah, yeah, no, that was a
what
different
I
time.
really liked was Chavez and Anisha walking in the Valima to
Oh
Guns N'
yeah.
Roses, Sweet Child of Mine. I was like,
Ramsha, you saw
when
the video.
I
Hmm.
saw the video and I was like, wait, what is this song? And I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
same. I was there. I was taking the video. I'm so happy. That's basically like I left it for the, that was like the thing at the Valima that
yeah,
really took it to the next level, which was basically after and yeah, you told the story most of it. Chavez, Anisha, but I'll tell you what happens at the end. Chavez, Anisha walk in, and this piano music starts playing, and you're everyone's taking pictures, and they're like, I'm like, what is this song? And you realize, oh my God, it's Sweet Child of Mine. And they get up on
Oh yeah.
stage, they look at each other, and fireworks.
Fireworks.
It was from the side of the stage, and they're framing these two. They're walked in the
That's
dark.
so
They've been
cute.
lit, and the fireworks are lighting them up while a beautiful rendition of "Sweet Child of Mine" plays
That's
on
really
piano. That was so sweet. That was so much fun. It was amazing. Like we had,
was
yeah.
there.
Yeah, I congratulated Arif uncle, Nina Khala, their dadi, everyone. I was like, you must be very happy. They were like, of course, of course, of course, of course.
Yeah.
And yeah, yeah, obviously. Nina Khala and Chavez is Nina Khala and Arif uncle's son. And now they have a wonderful daughter-in-law, Anisha. We are so happy.
She's really sweet.
She is
She's sweet.
yeah, she's very sweet. I obviously I sympathize with her at the end when of like the 3 days when she had the fourth day bride look.
Oh my God, listen, it is exhausting. It is so exhausting. It was a blur. I mean, everyone, Xenia told all my friends who got married, Xenia, my cousin who's got married, everyone was like, dude, you're gonna be exhausted and your skin is gonna be so shit. And my skin wasn't as bad, but I was very exhausted. I just need to nap for 3 days. Bye. And my shadi wasn't even in Pakistan, where it's really like dhoom dhar and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's
No,
exhausting. I sympathize with her.
I want to say that your wedding, Ramsha, was basically like I really want to compare your wedding to like dare I say it, a bit of a supernova in that a lot of entities came together at one single location. A lot of people came together in one
Uh,
location and they made it doom dad, frankly speaking.
I mean, yeah, I agree. It was really funny because when the when the
Yeah,
bride's leaving on
yeah,
Barat, then when the bride leaves, that's when she's supposed to cry.
yeah,
I
yeah.
started crying when I walked in the hall because I was like, oh my God, like my family's here, and then Uncle Anwar's
Uncle Anwar,
entire family.
Ramsha, yeah,
This
yeah,
is
yeah. Nida walked out of your room. Nida walked out of your room and she was like, she's crying when Uncle Anwar, she's like, because Uncle Anwar was there. I was like, yeah, I was just like, I was very impressed and happy that Uncle Anwar's entire family came. I was very grateful. And
uh, what was I gonna say?
sorry, because
That family's like 3 generations came, and that was really nice.
yeah, that was really impressive.
And then all of our, and this is in America, and all of our family, friends,
It's
very,
Central New Jersey.
yeah, but they all came from like our family friends. Like Tariq uncle's family came, and it was really nice. And then the fact that my friends came from like Pakistan, and Sarah made it from like London, and Sarah B, like just who I wanted. I was like, you know what, it's fine. If these 3 4 people come from my friends, it's absolutely fine. I
You're
miss
talking,
Zara though.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You're
Yeah, it
Sarah.
was. You're so right, man. It was really nice how like everybody turned up, turned
Yeah.
up to turned up. But
Yeah.
yeah, anyway, I wanted
But
to ask you
yeah,
about you were in Lahore, and I have only read tweets about the smog situation in Lahore. What was Lahore like
Lahore is kind of
environmentally?
I don't want to offend. We're all from Lahore. We're from Lahore, but I'm kind of grateful for being from Karachi because okay, I've
I am
already
from Karachi. You are from Lahore. You were born in Lahore.
hey, I called it it's called Seaside Siblings for a reason. Lahore doesn't have a beach.
Yeah, that's true, man. But yeah, no, I heard it was really
Yeah, the
bad.
smog situation was not good. I apparently had a pre-existing condition which flared up as within half a day of reaching there.
Oh
Add
damn.
to that lack of sleep from taking a night flight, and I ended up at like I we drove to close to the inner city, is where Pinky Auntie's hospital is. So Abu drove us there, and I drove. It's Data Darbar. It's near Data Darbar, and I drove. I'm kind of proud that I got like examined. I got my chest examined, and I got medication assigned to me, and I was like, fine, I'll take. Obviously, I have to take all the medication on the regular times, and I drove from Data Darbar to Defense in Lahore. I was like,
Oh,
wow, like,
nice.
yeah, it was good. I was like, oh, good. I Another wedding, another drive. I was like, that's fun. Yeah,
But
it's
that's
good.
good. You're better now.
Yeah. I got better before the
Oh, that's
uh, Mehndi situation. So the Rukhsati was also quite good. The Rukhsati middle child, that was
mm,
quite nice. That was between the Nikah Mehndi and the Walima, the
mm,
Rukhsati Barat. And oh yeah, the Barat day, we walked in as like, Chavez's relatives,
yeah,
brothers, his brother, all of his cousins,
yeah,
all the guys, Xenia. Yeah, we showed up. That was also a good situation. We finally got to see all the relatives from our like other sides of the family were there. Yeah, fun times, absolutely fun times.
yeah.
Huh. The dressing up is something which I'm finding very unique now. And
Oh, I miss dressing up. Man, I just want to go to a desi shadi.
yeah, I understand what you mean. Like, no, there was this article by Rafia Zakaria called Decembristan. Yep. And she's basically outlined this entire phenomenon of December weddings, expatriates coming in, spending monies, everybody dressing up. And she's like, the young people take part in it with extreme gusto because like these are basically it's a pop-up club type situation plus a very a very sudden speed dating.
That's very true. That's a very interesting way.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. The speed dating thing, I could agree 110%. Oh my God,
I
it's Auntie
okay.
Scopes, Auntie Vision is on, Rishta Vision, like
Rishta Vision is on, Auntie Vision and speed dating situation. See the reason, okay,
it's like a cow cattle thing for Rishta,
yeah, I
Auntie
know what you mean.
Shepherd
Here's
herders.
the thing. I am slightly older. I'm obviously older than you, and I was there before the Decembristan phenomenon had reached
Yeah,
its
peak.
apotheosis or not its peak. It's not at its peak. Before it had fully developed into Decembristan at
Okay.
the proto stages with the number of people who are born in the 1990s.
Yes.
It has reached critical mass. I'm from the demographic just before it reached critical mass. And there are a lot of times when I'm kind of grateful, but there are a lot of times I wish I was either like, this time I've started thinking I wish I was like either 4 years older or 10 years younger.
No,
Yeah.
I thought you say 4 years younger.
No, I
10
said four
years
years.
younger is no. 10 years younger is too
Uh,
much, man. I wouldn't
no,
want to
I
be.
think I would not mind skipping this past decade. Have you seen that 2009 to
Oh my
2019 chapter?
God. Yeah,
I would
first of
not
all,
mind skipping the last 10 years. I would, if I like the last 10 years of economic crises, right-wing meltdowns and wars, and not just last 10 years, frankly, the last 15 years. There's a lot of reassessment
so
going on
basically
the
half your life you just want to like eliminate or eradicate or just
not
non-exist.
half, a third, a third.
But then look at everything that you've mentioned, man. You mentioned okay, yes, the world, like the crisis and shit that's going on in the world, but what about your own world?
Well,
Like
I have, yeah,
if I eliminated a third of my life, I literally would be like a shitty little teenager, and I don't like teenagers. I had a good teenage years or whatever,
I
but it's
respect.
not something I want to go back to.
Well, I will tell you this, Ramsha, as someone who is slightly older than slightly above the 30 line,
Mm-hmm.
and who knows the fact that like somewhere around half of Pakistanis are under 30. I respect the people in their 20s, the teenagers, the kids. I'm like, all right, kids, welcome to the world. Let's deal with it. Like I respect them, but mostly because like I just spent a year studying with like people who are in their 20s, so
Mm.
obviously full respect. And you're my sister, so many of
I,
my cousins.
yeah, no, I agree with the world situation, but no, man, I don't want to go back in time. Fuck that.
I wouldn't actually mind going back to when like just before my A levels began. Like I've had given it a lot of thought. There's Ramsha, 2004 was now 15 years ago. People are really having a serious
That's when
reassessment.
that's when Avril Lavigne's first album. No, that was 2005. Still, that's
That
close.
was
Shit,
2003. That was she was 2003, but
that was
2004 was
2003. Fuck, man.
2004 was when that entire 2003, 2002, 2003 thing that was developing had crystallized.
Yeah, 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 dude.
Can
Oh my
you
God, that 10-year challenge. By the way, I was like, what?
No,
Why?
you come out you come out you come out like a swan in that, I'm sure.
I also feel like that 10-year challenge was like I read this tweet and I was thinking
Yeah,
about it
yeah,
and then when I read a tweet it was something along the lines of wait, let me see if I can pull it out. It was
yeah.
something
My
about
friend
facial
was talking.
recognition.
Yes,
Facebook trying to keep up with their
yes,
facial
yes.
recognition. Like, yes, this is what I was just thinking. Why are you guys posting? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. My friend is basically said my friend shared that with me yesterday. I was talking about it. And like the 10-year challenge, Ramsha, speaking of the 10-year challenge, I just rewrote my entire CV after a year. And I have like
Oh,
reassessed the last 2 to 4 years, and I basically like one reason I got into journalism was so that like I'd have a record of my work. It's not that I just produce a project and
yeah.
no one would give me. Oh, by the way, one reason I have an issue with like one reason I would say I wish I was like either 4 years older or I had spent like 4 years older and had spent the last few decades from that vantage point onwards or 10 years younger is because like a lot of the people I spent the last 10 years working with would not give me any recognition for any work, and I had to make sure that my work was recognized. People have been willing to okay, I shouldn't say this in a recording, but I have experienced a lot of people trying to erase my contribution, and at this point I am just
I know this. I know this on a personal level. We've talked about this. It's fucked up.
it is very fucked up, Ramsha.
And
So
it's very shady. Like you
oh,
have to
it's
be like
super shady.
you have to be
It's
like what kind of shade are you projecting, man? Like this is man, it's really shady.
Yeah, no, that's why I basically am like at this point I'm moving forward with the my own name, and I am making sure that I'm getting into the limelight as soon as possible because people won't be able to erase my contributions or whatever I do. I'd like that is my objective now at this point. I'm very much or like being in the out of the shadows, and whatever I've done in the background, I'm basically going over it this year and I'm compiling it together and like putting it
Yeah,
into
like
presentable.
putting it up to date in a chronological manner. I understand.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I spent an entire day this earlier this week. Yeah, earlier this week I spent an entire afternoon into the evening just going through my CV, fixing it, putting
Yeah.
things in order. Then I realized that I had a pile of newspapers on one of my bedside table from when I was working at the Pakistan Observer, and I was like, I didn't really go through it and like pick out all the articles I did. So the next day, after I watched Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse at Newplex,
Mhm.
I went down to the car, bought up my laptop bag, which had like about 8 to 10 newspapers in it as well. And I
Mhm.
sat in a corner. Did I have a coffee? No, I did not. I was drinking water. And I went through them and I looked through each one and found what I had contributed. I realized that one newspaper which didn't have my name on it, it was because I had done basically a report on a company's announcement of like a new airline, what do you call it? A new route, and
Oh,
that had like not been credited to me. I was like, why can't I find my name? I started reading the newspaper, then I realized what it was. So yeah, so that that's my CV. But and you, Ramsha, you did like something about your studies. What was the scene with that?
I pushed my exam back to mid-March because I don't know when I'm about to sit for an exam, I like to do the course maybe 2 times minimum, and I just got done with doing it once because
Mm.
it's like 12 subjects, and those 12 subjects are like they have sub subjects within them. So it's like very extensive, but I was this past week I had a little, not a little, but like a lot of anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
and I set the exam date from February, so I was like I gave myself a margin of a month.
Yeah.
So I was like, if I feel the need to push my exam back, I'll do it, and I did. So I feel
Yeah.
a little better about that because now I can just start my revision,
Mm-hmm.
and I can just keep testing myself. I'm a very nervous exam taker, very
Don't,
anxious.
Ramsha, you should feel confidence in yourself. I feel like I have confidence in
No,
you.
man, it's so easy to say, but then when you know, like, I sometimes I can't sleep the night before an exam, and that's the worst. I think that's the worst thing you can
No,
do
no,
because
no.
then,
You absolutely don't study. Even if you don't study for an exam, just make sure you sleep because your brain will, if
yeah,
not, it'll make connections during the exam while you write and like maybe pick out things. That
yeah,
will save you. You're behind.
yeah. That's
Definitely.
what. Yeah.
Lack of
And
sleep will hurt you.
yeah, man, I don't know. If anyone is listening and if you guys are nervous exam takers, please can you leave a comment so we can be friends? Because I like sometimes I like said wake up in the morning I can't eat anything. Do
Oh,
you have you ever felt that? Because like the before an
uh,
exam, I remember.
kind of. I mean, I spent my entire childhood up till the end of my middle school years not really eating anything before I went to school, just having either
Yeah,
milk.
I remember that. That was really weird, by the way. I was like, I mean, I used to have like milk or something before I went, but now we're at this age where we can't like run on fumes. When you're younger, that's fine. But
Yeah, yeah,
if I
yeah.
wake up before an exam, I am like breathing really like deeply and heavily, and then you know that cough gag that I do, like
Yeah, 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 yeah,
the
yeah.
sound like you vomit. Yeah, so I do that. It's a whole thing. Like I know
Yeah,
what I do. It's weird. It's
yeah,
very
yeah.
weird. But yeah, I'm a very nervous exam taker. So now I feel a little better. But I have made a new schedule, and hopefully inshallah it all works out.
Inshallah, yeah. I'm very happy about that. I'm very happy to hear that. Has Umar given you like a pep talk or some encouragement
Yeah,
like
he
these
always is
good
like,
exams?
yeah, like I go to when I don't understand anything, like I obviously ask him, and then he sits down, he reads it, he's like, oh yeah, yeah, this. So he I'm so glad that he's there that I can like ask him
Yeah,
these things,
no, that's
especially because
obvious.
he's been through these exams and he's been there, so he understands. And we have friends who've written this exam, and you know they're like, if you need any help, especially with prosthodontics, the dentures and all that wala subject,
Yeah, yeah,
they're really nice. They're like, dude, if you need any help, just come and we'll help you. So I'm very lucky in that way.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, yeah. Like
Prosthodontics is the study of the
the
basically.
prostheses, the
Oh,
prosthetics that go within, yeah, to help like support occlusion and stuff.
okay. And periodontology is the one about how your teeth are attached to your gums.
All of the things that are attached to your tooth.
Ah,
It's the study of those, though that attachment apparatus and the diseases that may affect it and how they may be affected with disease or aging and stuff
that's
like that. Yeah.
that's good. And no, that's good. And yeah, because I was like trying to
It's
memorize some
also just the
definitions.
P. The subjects that start with a P are just assholes to me. It's perio,
Yeah.
pros, pharmacology.
Oh my
Pathology is
God.
fun. Pathology is
Pharma.
fun. I like pathology. It's quite interesting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Pharma is the one with the drugs and such. So that's in.
drugs. Drugs. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
no, I looked up online, I looked up perio and I looked up prosto to try and at least understand what they are, and I kind of got an idea. I forgot what prosto was, but perio I remembered it has to do like your entire field of study is basically the parts that are attached to the tooth from the gums.
yeah, that's perio. Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, and that's like an insane level of detail for, and
And
it just
yeah, and it's very. I don't like. I mean, respect to people who specialize in these avenues of disciplines of dentistry, but it's very dry. Very
I
dry.
I'll be honest. Okay, the reason I'm bringing up is, all this medical stuff is like professionally. I hope I'm not putting you in an odd place by discussing
No,
exams and such.
no, no,
And
no.
I want to like not put myself professionally in an odd place. I will say that obviously I will work very hard and I'm a good worker and I'm a productive worker and a willing worker. And but like obviously credit is always appreciated when a
Mm-hmm.
person does their work, especially in the media and news industry.
Good.
It's always respected. That's how you keep people motivated and going. And I understand if there's a need for being classified while doing that, that like is a thing on its own. We can understand that. And protecting sources. Anyhow, the reason I was bringing up medicine stuff is because I've been watching a lot of AIDS documentaries, and
AIDS documentaries.
yeah, and like apparently there's this one called how, like they're very dark, Ramsha, like
Yeah, no,
how
I can imagine. When you said that, I was like, wait, what? Okay.
no, the
So
reason
what have you been watching?
Lindsay Ellis referenced this in a video about Rent. It's called How to Survive a Plague, and it came out in 2012. It was about like it's really interesting. It's about how this group, it kind of actually explains, like in a sense, organizing at the end of the Cold War. It's like about this group called ACT UP in New York, which was a bunch of
Mm-hmm.
AIDS activists who pressured the government into not only looking at all the possible medicines available for AIDS, but
Mm-hmm.
also started researching themselves and starting to run trials and become their own like little research unit. They're AIDS activists, people trying to keep people alive, and they become their own like research unit plus
Oh,
protest unit. It's insane, and but it's very impressive. And until like, and they talk about AZT, protein, and they talk about like the medicines available abroad, and then they talk about how like there was a sense of fear up until like 94, 95 when these things called protease inhibitors finally
yeah.
came onto the scene. And I started like sort of reading up on it just as a layman, and I was like I respected what they were doing, and I kind of like was also happy that I could follow along on that stuff thanks to
Yeah,
you and
they,
Ami.
they, they obviously want everyone to understand so that they can have all the information. But that's very interesting. What is it called? I wanna
Survive a Plague. It's on
survival.
YouTube. It's 1 hour and 45 minutes or so
Oh, it's
long.
on YouTube. Oh wow. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, they made you AIDS is nothing you want to live with, yeah, but everyone should be
Oh,
careful about their
oh
health.
yeah. See, that's when we talk about being this many years younger, going back in time, I'm like, no, thank you. I am good. I don't want to. I mean, modern medicine, man. That's where I want to be.
Oh no. I would never think of going back further than like a guy, a non-white guy should never go think of going any further back than the 70s or
Yeah.
maybe
So
the 60s,
imagine a
but definitely not.
non-white woman.
Should not think of going back any further than I think you said the 80s or something.
Yeah, no, man. It's
Yeah,
even
yeah, yeah.
the 80s, man. It was.
Yeah,
I mean,
no. Mhm. Yeah.
it's a hard time still.
Yeah, no. No, but like things are better for a lot of people, but like people should take care of their health, and that's something I'm taking to heart
If you
nowadays.
could go back, yeah, dude. By the way, you should.
Oh,
Can I
I am.
just say I so Umar and I started working out because we were like, oh, we'll eventually go on our honeymoon, which is we haven't been on our honeymoon, which is fine. I don't know why.
It's fine. This is fine.
This is fine, okay, guys. Like, relax. Like, if you're listening and you think that's weird, please don't judge us. We just had a lot of other things that needed our priority. So yeah. So we were like, let's get fit. So next year next year, which is this year, when we go on our honeymoon, we're like not fat and have all that
Mm.
wedding weight. And it really, I can't tell sometimes, but until maybe 3 weeks ago, I was like, wow, my body is actually stronger now, and it's a really good feeling. I haven't felt this
Yeah,
way since I would play tennis like 3 times a week. So it's
yeah,
good. It
yeah.
feels
When did
good.
you start playing 3 times a week? Was that in 2013 or something?
Yeah, like way back when,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah. No. It's important.
2013, 2012. I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
university really messes up your body.
body. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's really.
and your mind or your yeah, to some
Yeah.
degree, your mental health is also affected, which plays an
Eh,
even bigger.
I value my university time, all of it. I feel like I learned a hell of a lot, and like
Yeah.
I talk about I would take back the last 10 years, but believe me, I feel stronger as a person than I was 10 years ago.
I'm really glad to hear that actually. That makes me
Yeah,
glad.
like
Yeah.
socially respected and stronger, and I'm like, yeah,
No, I
I'm
just think if any room, anytime you feel like, you know what, I'm like, man, you know what, over the last like 2 years would compare myself to like my peers. And then I just randomly one day was like, why the fuck are you doing this? Why are you comparing yourself to people who are maybe who had 2 years head start or a year head start compared to you? And I think if you compare yourself to yourself
No,
this many months ago or
no,
this
that's
many
not
years ago,
a healthy thing.
that's
Oh, compare yourself to yourself. Wait,
yourself.
say
Yeah,
that
like
again.
don't
Say that
compare. I said you should compare yourself to who you were a
again.
certain amount of time ago instead of comparing yourself to another individual because I don't know if that's like a normal thought people have, but that like was an epiphany to me. So that's why I felt like sharing it. But yeah, I think don't compare yourself to anyone else. Just compare yourself to you a few years ago or a few months ago, and that's much more healthy.
That is very good. That's very good. Yeah, no, I think that's good enough. Bought some books on the way back from Lahore. Uh,
Mm,
yeah. The bunch of them are like about the military and the intelligence services. The one of the most highest, the Pakistani deep state had a good look at, but there's this Naseem Zehra lady. She wrote a book on Kargil, and
yeah.
there's a map in it. Like Ramsha can tell you how big I am on maps.
Oh,
But
yeah.
yeah, like she can vouch for that. There's a map in it which shows the positions that Pakistan. Basically, I remember 99 when the Kargil crisis happened. Pakistan had taken some hills right above a highway that led
Mm-hmm.
from most of Indian Kashmir to where the Siachen base camp for the Indian soldiers was, and Pakistan could shoot onto that highway, and that nearly started a war. And she had a map in it which showed like just the hills and the positions just like a few hills away after the LOC ends on the Indian side, and how the Indian highway would just sneak up and we were there. And I just
Oh,
one thing I felt was just seeing that map. It was just you feel something like 20 years of like a mystery has been solved. Like this is what could have set off a war, and like
yeah.
it's just
I
yeah,
was just gonna say, yeah,
yeah.
it gives you chills knowing that this was like, I mean, I'm sure that these records are available now, but back then it was under apps, right?
It was
So
very difficult to no, it was that's not it. The problem is not so much it's under wraps, Ramsha, it's that we don't have the resources or the people to put the information is out there, but we don't have the resources and people to put it together and put it out to the public. The intelligence agencies abroad probably can like assemble it together, and even the domestic ones, but people who can like put it out for the public, that's hard.
that's hard.
And we're changing that by like putting have books like this out. Like it's a 500 page book, Ramsha. It's like that Nixon land book I had by Rick Bernstein, but it's a good to see like a Pakistani put out an effort like this.
What's it called?
From Kargil to the coup by Naseem Zehra.
Seems there. Okay, I'll write that down. Dude, I need to read something that's not a textbook.
Yeah, you go to like
That's one thing that I keep telling Omar, which is because I mean, once you read like just textbooks,
hmm,
I feel like my reading, the speed at which I read has decreased.
hmm.
I skip over words. It's really weird, but I feel like my reading level is that of like a high school kid. And
That's that. I think you might be underselling yourself, but you should like look into that if you
no, I told Umar that, and I was like, "Did you feel that way when you were, prepping for these exams or just exams?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "All we read are fucking like dental textbooks and articles and research papers. It's very like
restrictive.
restrictive. It's like a tunnel vision of
Yeah, yeah.
your reading
Of
material. It's like,
yeah.
yeah." So he was like, "It's normal. Don't think you're like dumb or anything." Because then I'd correlate that level of like lack of intelligence to like, oh my God, I'm gonna fail my exam. So yeah, so
Yeah,
like,
no, don't do that. Don't do that.
but
No, yeah,
yeah,
you're
that's one thing I'm excited to do when this exam is done and over with, and like I pass this exam, inshallah, is just read something else.
okay. Okay, yeah. Think about what book you like. What made me a little sad recently was I've tried to think of a non-fiction book, sorry, a fiction book I'd like to read, and I have trouble coming up with it. There's actually this Stephen King book I have my eye on.
Oh, which
Where
one?
I don't know what's called, but here's the crazy thing. It's a Stephen King book in which
Yeah.
he basically, it's not scary, it's more of a mystery about this guy getting a mysterious disease, and
Ooh.
some of the secondary characters are a lesbian couple who moved into his ta little town.
Oh, that's very interesting. I love a good mystery, horror, mystery, murder, mystery, thriller. That's usually what I end up reading most of the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, no, here's the thing. The thing about Stephen King writing that book is that this is Stephen King, guy who started writing in 73,
Yeah.
74 with Carrie, and now he's like got a lesbian couple in it, and you're like, oh my God, you are
Very
growing,
curious.
you're growing.
Yeah. Um,
Uncle G is trying after so long.
um,
Huh.
I was just thinking of my next meal, so randomly, sorry.
I think we should like if that's the scene, then we should like
No,
just
no, no. You know why? Because when
huh.
we a few days ago, so we bought scallops, okay?
Oh my God, tell me about that.
And so so we have this Blue Apron thing, which like it's a subscription and they
Acha.
deliver like ingredients and shit to you.
Uh-huh.
So they delivered scallops with like two more like recipes. So I was really excited to cook those because I love scallops. And then when Omar and I don't know what we were eating. We were eating lunch. Like it was and late, like super like 5 p.m. we were having lunch.
Uh-huh.
And it was something very heavy. I forget what it was, probably pizza,
Hmm.
like healthy pizza, like diet pizza.
Oh
But
my
I was scarfing it down at 5 p.m. and I was like, listen. He was like, what? And I was like, we're still gonna make scallops tonight, right? And he was like, yeah, yeah, okay, just eat lunch right now. And then when we were done eating and we were cleaning up, he was like laughing randomly, and I was like, what? Why are you laughing? And he's like, you were thinking about your next meal while we were eating our our lunch. Like, do you understand? I was like, dude, I do that. Don't you ever think about the next thing you're gonna eat? Like, the night before, you're like, oh, what am I gonna have for breakfast? And at breakfast, you're like, what do I have for lunch? And he's like,
That's not me, although I
he's
should
like,
stop.
not all the time, but like we were eating something really heavy, so I was just doing that. I was like, what will I have for lunch? Because there's nothing really at home, so I can have
You know
something
what?
from
I think that's healthier than what I do, which is like whatever is in front of me, take it. That's actually smarter because you're planning your food out. That's good.
I
That's not
guess.
really the worst thing. That's
Yeah.
I mean, look, where we are, we love eating. We're Punjabi.
Hey, so wait. Since we're talking about food, did you see did you see President Trump served these national champions who came to the White House for like
Yeah,
a
I saw
dinner or
that.
a lunch? He served
Yeah,
them McDonald's.
I saw the hill of fast food in the
Mountain of
freaking
nuggets
White House.
in
In
the
the
White House.
goddamn effing White House. There, Ami, we haven't said the F word once if you're listening. The
Sorry, Mama.
goddamn White House, this man had a hill of fast food.
And
Just,
then it was so funny because it was like, why these kids? This is like they're gonna be like, oh, I went to the White House, 15 years ago, and we ate McDonald's. Like, how trash is that?
that is trash on an epic scale.
I would be like, listen, I can get this at the drive-through. I want a 7-course meal now.
Yeah.
Dinner. That's so that's way out of whack. I thought that was really funny. And then
Yeah.
can you imagine that specific room in the White House just smelled of McDonald's?
Oh my God, that's so nasty.
Can you it has a it leaves a smell. That smell stays for a day for me. I feel like when I used to eat McDonald's in my room.
Yeah, the
Oh,
stench is not good. That and
Yeah.
KFC, they're both that garbage leaves a stench.
KFC, I think everywhere else is trash except for Karachi. And I'm not being pro Karachi. I've just had KFC in a lot of places and
Yeah, you're
it's
right.
it doesn't
You're right.
feel good.
You're right. The Karachi does this thing where whatever food comes here, we deconstruct it,
Yeah.
we examine the ingredients, and then we try to add different things to make it like add our twist. Like Karachi ke burgers, Mr.
Man,
Burger,
you just described the way I cook, by the way. That's really bad. Now, because
that's not bad.
when we make this blue apron, dude, first of all, when we make this blue apron stuff, okay, they give you
What
the
is Blue
recipe.
Apron, Ramsha?
So,
You are hipster now. Tell me what is
yeah,
Blue
so
Apron?
basically sometimes we don't do groceries, right? So they give us like the ingredients to make a meal with the exact amount of ingredients. So nothing goes to waste, which is good. But
Okay.
they give itna sa like paprika, and it's like, dude, I need to like throw a fistful of that shit in. So then I have to pull out like Umar and I, we pull out like our spices that we have, and then we throw that shit in so that it has a little more of a taste.
Welcome
I
to
don't.
Cooking with Ramsha and Umar. We hope you enjoyed today's episode.
It's man.
You
It's
two are so hipster. It is like when you were told about not just being given the ingredients, but the exact amount of ingredients, I held my nose and closed my eyes.
well,
I
I
was
think it's nice that nothing goes to waste, but at the same
fine.
time,
Not
it says
judge.
it says sprinkle with half the Mexican spice blend, and we just look at each other and we're like, just throw the whole shit in there, man. Like if nobody, no, we
Yeah,
ain't eating. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
but it's interesting. But we canceled our subscription as of
Good.
recently because
Good.
we basically learned how to cook a lot of American food now, so we're good. So we're like, we'll just reuse these recipes and shit.
Yeah, good, good. I'm glad you guys did that. Hipsterdom, I feel, is a phase that people should pass through and then grow out of.
Oh, for sure. I agree with that. I agree with that.
Hipsterdom, I think hipsterdom is fine. I think it's fine, but it should be a phase. It should be like either when you're a young married couple, when you're a single person, when you're in postgrad, it should be a learning phase. Like it should be after you graduate college, it should be a phase so that you learn how to be an adult with some taste and sophistication, but then you grow out. It's
Yeah.
it's fine.
You know what
And
phase everyone needs to really fuck off from?
what?
It's being overly sensitive about everything.
Yeah, no, everyone's over that, by the way. Thanks to
I
thank
don't think so.
hey, let's praise ourselves. Do you remember us talking about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and
Oh
her
yeah.
Boston University video?
Yeah.
Ramsha, you haven't said this is one thing I'm angry. I've been sending you that messages about that video. Did you see the video?
I saw
Listen.
half of it. I saw half of it.
Okay, so at least you've seen half of it. But
Yeah.
you've heard the song Listomania, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, Ramsha, I listened to that song on my free time because of that video, and I found that video, and I told you about that video,
Yes, I've
and
seen half of
within
it.
and but within 3 days, within 2 days, while I was in Lahore, it blew up. Ramsha,
Oh, gee, it went viral.
yeah, it went viral. Come on, yeah, we did some journalism. We did journalism, Ramsha,
That's true. We hit something before it went viral.
a few
Um,
days before. So yeah, I'm proud. And you're
it
not
was.
proud?
I mean, man, I don't know. There's some shows that I find and I binge and finish them, and then people are like, "Oh my God, have you seen this show?" And I was like, "You asshole! I was telling you to watch this shit 2 months ago." So, like,
Oh.
yeah. So I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, I've had that happen with a few things, not with entire shows, because I'm impressed that you like binge shows and they became big. Yeah, that's happened with some shows, like for example, that not Sabrina, but like there have been shows like
I
that. Like
stopped watching that shit,
yeah,
man. It
yeah,
was.
no. People have look. I think people are overly sensitive. The demographic that is overly sensitive doesn't have enough money. That's my theory.
I think the demographic that is overly sensitive are individuals who don't have what's the word? See, this is what I mean. I didn't read more. They don't have enough exposure to other cultures where they're like, I don't know. I just feel like, dude, if someone calls me Paki, I mean, I
Yeah.
don't give a. I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, what the fuck? But like somebody else would be like, oh my god, you can't say that. You can't say that. Like, please don't speak for me.
Oh, okay. I understand where you're coming from. I would just be like, dude, just don't do that again. Just don't do that again.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like,
I don't know if I'm one of the sensitive types for being that, but I just like, look, habits make a person.
yeah.
And like, I mean, like, just be like, okay, well, you've said it. I don't need an apology. Just don't do that again. Just be an adult, and like, it's basic decency, in my opinion. Look, I have to like follow these protocols because I'm in the media, and like, we
Oh
put
yeah,
stuff,
that's like
we
over.
intend to put stuff out for mass consumption. So we have to like, there's something called editorial judgment.
So I'll give you
Yeah.
an example. I'll give you a
Yeah.
very broad example.
Hmm.
Kevin Hart had a
Oh yeah.
birthday party for his kid,
Hmm.
and I really like Kevin Hart. I mean, I think he's funny. I like Kevin Hart. He had a birthday party for his kid, and the theme was cowboys and Indians.
That's fine.
And
Oh, I can
people
see where.
were pissed.
Yeah, okay, that's none of their business. These are children, like, it's no one's
That's
business.
it, man.
Like, look, I'll be honest with you. You want something to be pissed about, like, legitimately, if people are looking for something to be pissed about, I'm sure, I
Mhm.
can give them about a couple of funerals a month in Pakistan that they
See,
can be pissed
yeah,
about,
exactly.
and they can
It's
be pissed about that. They can call up
exactly
the State
like
Department.
if you want to be, I completely agree 110%. If you want to be pissed about something, listen. There's a crisis in Yemen right now. Can you please be pissed about that?
There's a government shutdown in America.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
just
Like, no,
suck.
this is really like the crisis, the daily Watergate of the Trump administration has kind of taken that sort of like oversensitivity away and told, and kind of like a message has been delivered to those guys. Okay, you want to be oversensitive about something? Look at actual people suffering
Yeah.
pain and degradation and having their lives put at risk, and then be offended on their behalf. Like,
But
that, by the way, this has actually, like, the election of Donald Trump has exhausted those people. That's why there's less of this.
I can imagine, but
And
yeah, man,
that
that's
was
one of
what.
my
Yeah,
pet
yeah, yeah.
peeves in this new age of.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think I have any pet peeves, but when people are overly sensitive, I'm just like, fuck off.
No, yeah, they have their reasons, but like, if they, I'm always willing to take that energy. Okay, look, again, I am a journalist, so my view on that is, if you have so much energy that you are pissed off about things that are like not directly affecting you, I have a couple of like casualty lists you can edit and like compile the numbers of dead and injured, and like, you can help. You can help. You take that
Be
energy and
mad
put it
about,
in a
be mad
direct
about. I
direction.
agree. Yeah,
What did you
bilkul.
say? What did you say
I said,
before that?
yeah, yeah, be mad about something that really, really matters in on a global scale.
Or hurting people in your
Or
country, or like,
affected people's lives, man. Yeah.
yeah, makes their lives like actively like, there's this old metric, lowering the life expectancy, which can things there are things which can do that. So yeah. So like, yeah, no, like, unless you're like, I'm actually watching a ContraPoints video, and she's talking about like the dangers to trans women in America, and she's like, as a white
Hmm.
trans woman, things are not always the best for me, but the people really in danger are like trans women, or who are non-white, basically
Yeah.
brown and black trans women, because they're in danger from guys who are both homophobic and transphobic. Like, this snowflake stuff, listen, I'll tell you, I can tell you where it came from, and we can end it there.
Sure.
The snowflake stuff, okay, so after the '08 crisis, and the like, people were trying to like get attention paid to like people who had suffered economically, and from '08, Obama's election, until like 2011, when Occupy happened, they tried to do that, and with Occupy they tried to like get people's attention to this mass injustice in society. Occupy failed, but Obama got reelected. But this energy had built up. This is my theory again. This energy had built up to like just fix something that was so wrong with American society and was hurting people. And the trans women, there's this the guy who made How to Survive a Plague made made a documentary I saw last year, The Life of Marsha P. Johnson, which was about a black trans woman who was
Mm-hmm.
mysteriously killed in the early 90s. And I watched it. And the, what happened after 2011 with the failure of Occupy was that great energy and desire for change was transferred onto this group of people who had just been, frankly, not hunted, but were casually killed, and the police and the authorities would just ignore their murders, and that was trans people. And that's why since 2011, 2012, 2013, there was this build up on Tumblr and all these social media websites to be more sensitive so that trans people could come out of the shadows and be accepted in American society, up to the point that when gay people had their outstanding issue resolved, which was gay marriage in 2015, the trans people were standing there in line waiting, and they were just saying, okay, fine, gays and lesbians have marriage resolved. Now what about our safety, security, and our acceptance in society? And that's like, yeah, people are being overly sensitive about shit that doesn't affect them, but this has, the trans community is sort of like been this little like purposely ignored, the butt of jokes. They've been made the butt of jokes for like decades,
Yeah.
decades and decades, and that their visibility and their life, the threats to their life, that was what was the desire to, like, the desire to fix something, their desire to survive and frankly live and happy lives and just have lives, that sort of met in a very messy way, and that's what played out in American society, to the point where things are better for trans people than they were
A
9 or 10 years
yeah,
ago.
10 years ago.
8 years ago, maybe, yeah, but that, like, in a messy way, they've sort of like come out of the shadows, and people in, or what are called cis people, have to now deal, and
Yeah.
like that's playing out in American politics. Like, is that a good enough explanation?
Yeah, that puts the pieces in a more makes more sense basically.
Yeah, I'm tired now, Ramsha. You wanna like wrap it up? Did you have
Yeah,
fun?
I
You
had
had,
fun. I always have fun, but I feel like whenever we go like over 30 minutes,
yeah, we
like
we
bleh.
really, yeah,
But this is
yeah, I was
fine.
thinking.
We're still learning how to
No,
go
I
this.
was ready to call it off at like 30, but I was like, I wanted to hear from you, and I'm really happy about that. So, chalo, theek hai, yaar. You're happy with this? Like,
Yeah, I am. What are you gonna do for the rest of the night for you?
there's actually a guest who's arrived. I've got to go meet him. So, good
Gotta
luck with
go.
the studies, and theek hai, yaar.
Thanks.
Okay, so chalo, yaar. You've had fun.
I had fun. I had a good time. I will speak to you next week.
Okay, chalo,
Next
theek hai.
week.
Take
Chalo.
care, yaar.
Okay.
Good luck,
Stop.
Ramsha.
Stop
Love.
this.